YouTube, Rook here from Rook Geek Goodness, my little channel web for all things geeky and cool. And welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to a brand new video. And in this video, I'll be kicking off a brand new video series, a brand new video segment, if you will, dubbed Content Marathons. What are Content Marathons? I'm glad you asked that question, audience. Content Marathons are basically really long videos on YouTube. There's been a kind of an upswing for these sort of contents from YouTube for people who are doing this sort of content to make much longer content. And my normal videos duration normally runs between about 7 minutes up to about 10 minutes, my traditional videos. Not including, say, a toy hunt, but most videos are about 7 to 10 minutes in length. This is really long content. I'm talking about an hour at the least, up to maybe hour and a half, up to 2 hours. So what I decided to do is to kick off this video series with Funko. I really love Funko. You guys know that if you're a subscriber to my channel. Remember to click that subscribe button, guys. I love Funko. So what I decided to do is do basically deep cuts. To go back through my card catalog, my collection of videos, and look for the most watched videos on my channel that had to do with Funko. So this is basically 7 years worth of content kind of stripped together, put together, and made from when I started YouTube 7 years ago, kind of to current day. There's about 5 or 6 videos that will be added together to build this one big piece of content. And these are the most viewed videos on my channel. So you'll also see a description inside the description box of each of the videos I put together and each of their separate URLs. So if you said, hey, I want to watch, let's say, the third video, Rook, you can just go in the description box, click that video, it'll bring you to that particular video I've done. You'll have the beginning and you have the intro and the outro. This video doesn't have any of that stuff here. You'll have my normal intro, my outro, but all the videos will basically go from video to video to video. That's the idea. And I hope you like this idea. We can do more of this sort of content in the future. We can do subscription unboxing videos. We can do action figure stuff. We can do statues. We can do toy hunts. Even more Funko stuff. That's the idea going forward. I hope you like this sort of presentation I bring to you guys. You're going to see Rook in less experienced version of him when I did YouTube. Let's say less haggard, a less wise version of Rook, if you will. And it's going to follow inside of sort of like sequential order to when I started to kind of where I am now. So you got videos like a deep cuts from when I started to current day Rook. That's the idea of this longer form content. I'm gonna kick it off basically with an hour video. See if you guys like it. I hope you do. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos like this in the future. So this is going to be about an hour-long video. I want you guys to sit back and relax and enjoy this long-form content marathons from Rook Geek Goodness. Woo! Enjoy, guys. Great content on the way. I bring to you my Funko review, or rather my largest Funko review yet, the 8th complete figure set of the Batman Imposters wave. Yes, Imposters, not imposters, Imposters. Get it? Pop, Funko. Playing words, yeah. I've been waiting months and months. Finally, yes. Finally, I could do this damn review. I've been waiting to get the Scarecrow, which was the one that was causing me the most grief, and I finally got him. I did, of course, I had a video for that. You can check out the link above. I'll put a link up there for that video I found the Scarecrow in a toy hunt. But the 8th figure, which is one that I didn't talk about, which was the Walmart exclusive out of the Black Friday mystery box. That was one that no one really saw coming. I was really happy to get that one. I wanted to get all of them. I wanted to get this complete set. I wanted to do this review for you guys. What we're going to do is go into a breakdown segment. We're going to talk about the articulation, which of course is limited, the paint, which is really cool, and any type of oddities or coolness that these figures may have. And then we'll go into final thoughts, and we'll ask the viewer, you guys, is this set worth your money? Stay tuned, guys. We're going to go into a breakdown. Okay, guys, we're in our breakdown segment looking at the Funko Full 8-piece Batman Imposters series. Now, this full wave took about 3 months, maybe a little longer, for all the figures to come out, with the last ones being the Killer Croc out of the Walmart box, and of course Scarecrow, which was the last figure released. Now, out of all the figures that you see here, I think the worst one out of this group here were the Harley Quinn ones. Now, I'm going to do these in groups of 4 at a time, because I think it'll be easier to review that way, and this video is going to run a little longer. Now, again, I was saying that the Harley Quinn ones I think are the worst ones, especially the male version. I don't know why they made a male version of Harley Quinn. I don't think this needed to be in this wave. They could have easily removed this one from the equation, and I would have been fine with that. But with that being said, let's actually look at the packaging for the male version of Harley Quinn. Very standard packaging here that you would see for a Funko Pop. You have the picture here on the side, the name of the figure, number 124 in the Batman, in the DC Superheroes set rather. We have the name of the figure, which is Harley Quinn Imposters. the side art of the figure, and of course the back, which showcases the same type of art that you saw with kind of a maroonish colored background and all the figures in the wave. Now the only difference between this packaging and all the other of the Batman figures, of course, is the coloring in the backing and the figure here on the side. Now let's actually put this one over to the side real quick and grab the figure. Now, this figure to me is super generic. I don't know why, again, they made a male version. They could have easily made the female version here and that would have been fine with me. I don't know why they decided to put this one in the wave. No, I mean, it's an okay figure, but I don't think it deserves to be in the wave. I think it's very silly to be here. Standard articulation with the head moving, of course. No issues with the paint. Everything seems pretty solid and crisp. No problems. Now let's actually look at the female version. Now the female packaging, you have of course the side shot here, name of the figure, which says again Harley Quinn Imposters. No difference. Now if you look at this one and this one, the figures itself, the only difference is the name of the figure. There's no other difference in the figure's side shot here. The back shot here, you can tell it's a little different because one's a male, one's a female. No real difference there. The top shot is a little more tricky because one has eyelashes and the other one doesn't. And of course the back, if we spin it around, again, same type of color. The only real difference between the two is one has eyelashes. It's really, and kind of brownish hair sticking out the side, which is over here on this one here. Let me move this one in the shot. You have kind of like a, whoops, there we go. Over here, brownish kind of hair sticking out over here. Now, let's move this one out of the frame. Now, this one is okay, in my opinion. This one, I think it was an okay pop itself. You have kind of the brownish hair that sticks out the back, and you tell us a female version. This would fit more in the wave than the male version would. I don't know why they went that road. Same type of articulation. This time we have the brown hair. I'll bring them both in the shot so you kind of see what they both look like together. Again, I don't know why they decided to go that particular road, but they did. So, I mean, it seems a bit odd to go that road. But it's, all in all, it's an okay figure. Now, next one we're going to look at is the Riddler. Riddler looks pretty cool, actually. Looking at the front here, you have the Riddler with a big old question mark sitting on top of his head, and it's number 126 in the wave. You have the side shot, which showcases the figure, and of course the back, which says, of course, the Riddler Imposters. And the back has this kind of lime-colored green with the figure itself. Now, this one is pretty interesting because you have the big, of course, question mark showcasing the Riddler. Standard Batman build that we're normally used to see, the buck for it, rather. Nothing different here. Very simple. I do like the color. It has all the question marks on the arms and on the chest. They kind of jump out at you, which I like a lot. I think they did a really good job as far as the presentation goes for this one. So this one they did a really good job on. The last one in this wave is, of course, Poison Ivy. And we have, of course, the side shot here. This is number 128 in the wave. It says, of course, Poison Ivy Imposters. The back shot of the side shot, rather, of the figure. And it has another type of green background, kind of like an off green, more of an olive green, which I like. And these two are completely different. Let me grab this one so you can see it again. The greens are completely different here, just so you would know. And we actually grab her, and she has the same, it looks like the same build as, we'll grab her, as her, same body. So she's using the same exact body, this, I guess, the Batgirl body that I guess they're using here, so it's identical for Poison Ivy and for Harley Quinn. And again, no issues with it. Pretty simple design, no bad paint. Of course, typical head articulation, no big problems with it. Again, very plain. At least these groups of four here seem very plain looking to me. Okay guys, now we're looking at the second group here. I figured I'd do a little cut there so it'd be easier to put these back in frame and bore you guys with me talking and jabbering around. This I think is a stronger set of the entire 8. I think this group here is the strongest. Let's actually look first at, let's actually go Two-Faced. Two-Faced, of course, looks really good. They did a great job on the Two-Faced one. Two-Faced is not a cheap pop itself, not this particular Two-Faced, but he's one of the really hard ones to come by, so I like having that feeling of getting some type of Two-Faced pop, which I think is very nostalgic. I think they did a really good job on that one. This is, of course, number 123. It says, of course, Two-Faced Imposters on the side, and we have the other side, which showcases the figure, and the back has the artwork here, and it has that kind of orangish, yellowish background. And I think they did a really good job on this one because they split the figure down in half because, of course, it's Two-Face. Again, it is a Batman mold. It has a kind of like that tuxedo, and he has the grin. I love the grin and the weird eye here, this funky eye. I think they did a great job on this one. This one has a lot of personality just by looking at it. Again, simple articulation, head does move, but I think this one they did a really good job on. I really like this Two-Face. Next one, we'll look at Penguin. So I'll move these two over here aside. Penguin was really cool looking. Again, the box of this one's a little beat up here. If you look here, you have the figure here. Oh, there we go. Got some glare right here. And he has, of course, the monocle that sticks out. You can't really see it because it cuts off on his head, but he has a monocle. And of course, it says on the side here, Penguin Imposters. This side has the artwork of it, and this is number 122. And it has a sort of purplish backdrop, and of course the figure right here. Now Penguin came out really nice. As I mentioned, he has a monocle, this gold monocle that kind of hangs down here. This one, again, another one of those really cool nostalgic figures they went back to. It has a lot of pizzazz. I mean, when you look at this, it looks like Penguin when you see it. I mean, if you didn't know it was Batman, you would swear it was Penguin. I think they did a really good job where they took the actual villain themes and wrapped them around a Batman body. So I like how this looks. I like how it comes across. I think it did a great job with it. He's in his little tuxedo here, so I really like how he looks. Wah, 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 wah. I love how he looks. Great articulation in the head, as usual. Now, I saved these two for last, and let me do the Scarecrow one first. Scarecrow looks really good over here. The artwork, of course, on the side here. This is number 125, which, of course, says Scarecrow Imposters. The side shot of him here, which, of course, is from the head on. And he has that kind of like a light tannish color look, as well as the artwork on the side here. Now, I was really looking forward to getting this one. This one looks really, really good. He has stitching across the top of his head, which I think they did a nice job on it. When you look at him, you know this is Scarecrow by looking at it. Yes, it is Batman's body, but the way they tooled it and the way they designed it, and molded it where it looks like Scarecrow. They did a really phenomenal job on this one, guys. I'm really happy the way it looks in presentation. Even the grin, he has that long, big grin here. I think they did a really great job on this one. This was definitely a cool one. Now, I saved this one for last for a reason. All the figures we were looking at, and I will talk about that in a second, was part of a 7-piece wave. This figure didn't exist. It was part of a special mystery box that came out for Black Friday for Walmart. It was a Walmart exclusive mystery box. It was the only way to get this figure, and this was the Killer Croc version of the Imposters. Great picture here of him grinning here. I love that. And of course, you have the Walmart sticker on the side. On the back, or actually on the side here, it has the Killer Croc Imposters name, and on the other side, you have a shot of the figure. And it has kind of an olive green looking color. It's not coming across as olive green. It looks more tan on camera, but this is like sort of an olive greenish looking color. Now, he looks really cool. They did a really good job on him. When you look at him, he looks like Killer Croc. He does look like Killer Croc. Again, same Batman body. I think this is a sticker. It feels like a sticker. It doesn't feel like it's painted on, really. The eyes are nice and yellow. Same articulations we're used to seeing here. I love how it looks, how it comes across. It has, again, that olive-looking color. But I think they did a great job on all of the Batman Imposters figures here. Again, with the exception being the Poison Ivy figure. I think that was, of course, the weakest one of the lot, in my opinion. I think they could have did something different. Oops. They could have did something different for the Harley Quinn one, at least. In my opinion, I think that was the biggest issue, all in all being said. They could have easily replaced this one with something different, but I think all in all, it was a great series. Absolutely buy the series if you can find it. And with that being said, guys, let's go to final thoughts and wrap this video up. Okay, guys, final thoughts on the 8-piece Batman Imposters wave by Funko. Collectively speaking, it's a really good wave. I mean, it is 7 pieces plus Killer Croc, but as a whole, collectively speaking, it's a really strong wave. The stinker, of course, being the male version of Harley Quinn, which I still don't understand why they had a male version. We talked about in the breakdown. They didn't need this figure. They could have removed this from the equation completely, or either replaced it or didn't have it all together. I think the female Harley Quinn was okay. okay, as well as the Poison Ivy. Two-Face was great, Penguin was great, Scarecrow was awesome, and the Killer Croc being the surprise figure was a nice little touch by Funko to drop it in on us last second. Also, we have to ask that big question at the end of all the videos here. Is this wave worth your money? Is it a buy or is it a pass? I think this is a buy. In my opinion, I think this is a buy collectively if you want to purchase the entire wave. Now, it is a pricey wave. I mean, you're looking at 7 figures. I mean, technically you can get rid of the Harley Quinn figure if you didn't want it and be okay with it, but I wanted the entire wave as a whole. So I think it's definitely a buy. The fatigue of those figures are really showing for Funko. I mean, they have a lot of Batman figures themselves using the same build. So I mean, it's really starting to show its age. I mean, this is one of the original builds they had when Batman originally came out years and years ago. So I mean, it is starting to show its age. They are releasing new figures now. You know, the Golden Age Batman with the handout pose, and the Super Friend Batman, the new White Lantern Batman. So they're doing new figures, new poses. So I think it's a really good idea by Funko. Well, it's sort of a Funko review and rant video. For some weird reason, my subscribers like it when I go off on things. I'm not that type of person usually to really rant or make a rant video or just get explicitive and throw vulgar or throw hate out. I don't usually do that with my videos. I try to do things that are creative, constructive, and objectionable, where I can actually tell you, hey, listen, here are some facts. Here's the truth of what I personally see. But for some weird reason, you guys like it when I rant. So this is kind of like a hybrid video, much like this item here as being a hybrid item. This is both going to be a review and a rant at the same time. So what are we talking about in this video? Well, we're looking at the Star Wars Pop hybrid item. There is no name for this thing that I currently know in the community for Boba Fett and Slave One. This was a New York Comic Con 2017 release. First, let's actually look at the packaging real quick here. I'll kind of showcase it for you. There'll be more in my actual light box so you can actually get an up-close shot of what this thing looks like. So why am I hating on this thing so much? Why am I ranting about this? Well, first and foremost, younger viewers, you can watch this video. I'm going to keep the language very, very clean. I know I have a lot of younger subscribers, but I want to let them know specifically why I like something or why I hate something or dislike something. I don't want to use the word hate, but why I don't like this item, and to have them save their money, especially for parents. Don't buy this item, and here's the reasons why. First and foremost, when I picked this up, this was a New York Comic Con exclusive for this year, for 2017. You can only get it really in 2 ways that I knew of at that time until all these items started coming out into the market. One, this was a Toys R Us exclusive release, meaning when they actually do an exclusive convention set of items, in this case San Diego Comic Con or New York Comic Con, which is what this is based on, you have certain stores that had certain items. Hot Topics had items, Toys R Us had items, Barnes & Noble's had items, Books A Millions had items, Amazon had items, the Funko Toy Shop had specific items which were dedicated towards the show, or you could have, on the flip side, flown up to New York to get this guy yourself, but you would have been waiting a long time online. So what are the big issues with this Pop hybrid? Well, first thing, I use the word hybrid. Like I said before, there is no terminology for what this thing is called. It doesn't have a name. It's not a Pop ride because it's not detachable from the item. It is bound together, so you're taking a Funko item, in this case a Pop, and a Pop sort of ride. You're scaling the ride down, making it smaller, and putting the Pop head on top of it. That's what you're doing with this guy. So you're taking 2 really cool items and trying to push them together to create a third. In this case, it's failing on this third thing, in my honest opinion. They've created several of these that have come out already. I have one I did over here. I'll kind of point to it. It's right there. There we go, right there. It is my snow speeder. I believe it's this guy right here. It's my little snow speeder, which he looks all right. I'll grab him for you so you can see what I'm talking about. I actually did a review on this guy, and I think he looks all right. His price point wasn't that bad. He was $25. But we're talking about this guy right here. And the biggest problem I had with this guy is, one, the price. This item, if you purchased it at Toys R Us or at the show, was $40 US. $40 for this thing. In my honest opinion, it's not worth the money. It's just too expensive, and you're not getting enough value. You're getting a smaller vehicle with a Pop head attached to it. They're slapping a $4 price tag on it mainly because of the convention exclusivity about this item. And I can see the reason why they're doing that, but I do not agree with the logic. You're not getting much more vehicle than the snow speeder, really. I mean, you're getting a little bit here, but you're not getting a whole lot. Let's actually take a look at him out of packaging now. Okay, so we have Boba Fett with Slave 1 out of packaging. And don't get me wrong, he looks neat. He does look really cool. The color here, he screams Boba Fett. He's nice looking. The great amount of tooling and detail on this guy. Now, that is not the complaint I have. He looks nice. Again, bobblehead. Hate bobbleheads. Head issues, of course, with the little bobble. You can't really turn the head all that much because the spring will get all janked up. And I don't want that to happen here, at least on this one. There is a good amount of tooling on it. You have the really cool base here. Now, as I mentioned before, that little cut, you're getting about the same amount of size. If you compare the Snowspeeder, which was price point at $25 for Walgreens, with the Boba Fett, you're not really getting a difference in scale. They're about the same size, as you see here. I'm showcasing it off for you. It's about the same size. Really, I mean, literally it is. I mean, if you want to think about it, the Snowspeeder is a little bit bigger in scale. And I'll take him out. I just wanted you guys to see what I'm talking about. But this is not worth $40. Again, they're trying to take two items, merge them together, and spit out this third product. You're taking two really good things and failing to create a third. In my honest opinion, this isn't worth the money. And it gets even uglier now, guys, because this guy now, if you looked on Amazon for this same exact item, I'll put a picture here so you can see what I'm talking about. He goes for about $72 US. He is nearly doubled in price. So that's another reason why I'm really, really upset about this item. The price is just too high with not enough value. You can't remove it from the base. There is no other articulation. The head is a bobblehead. There is nothing else it does. It is a full staction piece with no other things or redeemable value for this item. Again, he does look cool. Don't get me wrong. I think it looks nice, but it's not worth the money. Now, you're going to say, well, look, you have that issue. What other problems do you have? Well, when I picked this up at Toys R Us, I think they sell these in cases of either 4 or 6. It seems to be, at least on this one, on mine, I'm a little bit biased on this, guys. When they were slicing the boxes open, I don't know if you can see it, I'll take it in my light box, right here, there is a X-Acto knife gash across the top. They had 4 of them on the actual display when I went to pick this guy up on that toy hunt, and all 4 of them were cut this way. 4 items were damaged. Does people not know how to cut a box with an X-Acto knife? It's not rocket science. It's rather easy to do. That is partially another complaint I have of mine. I don't think this was well done, at least for the staff, to present you an item like this. They could have taken a lot more care with these items, but Funko does that a lot with their products. I don't know the real reason of why they went through this type of difficulty just to cut a box open. And the last item that I'm really kind of not really happy about is the whole concept of this design. As I mentioned near the beginning of this video, they're trying to take a pop ride and a pop, merge them together, and spit something out. It doesn't work. This is a fail in my honest opinion. And they made several items like this. They made the Snowspeeder, as I talked about earlier. They made, I think they made a TIE Fighter pilot. They made a Darth Vader tie. They're coming out with a Kylo Ren and his new Interceptor. They're trying this approach, and I don't think it's working. I think it's a bad idea. This approach isn't working well, at least in my opinion. Either give us a ride or give us another pop version of him. Hell, I would have taken a bigger pop ride, let's say this big, with a Boba Fett that can go in and out. That would have been perfect. That, to me, would have been worth $40 in my honest opinion. Easily. With a ride this big and a detachable Boba Fett, maybe more screen accurate colors, because the colors maybe not be perfect here, maybe more battle damage, more dense, things like that, would have been fine. Or maybe even do a Jango Fett in Slave 1. I would have taken that as well. But this doesn't work for me, guys. I do apologize. Like I said, I'm a little long-toothed in a rant here, but I don't think this works. Now you're going to say, well, look, all you're doing is throwing hate. You're just trolling us. What would you recommend if you were a collector? What would you tell your audience? Glad you asked that question. If I were you and you wanted something good, more bang for your buck, so to speak, I would go in this direction. I would go with the Wonder Woman Invisible Jet. You're getting a pop and a large pop ride here for about $28 US. I'll put a picture up here on Amazon so you can see, you can actually buy it right now for about $28 US. You're getting a lot of value here, guys. This, in my opinion, is well worth the money compared to this guy here. This would be a pass on me. This would be a buy. pass on Boba Fett, definitely buy Wonder Woman. If you like, of course, superheroes, DC, if you like Wonder Woman, definitely go in this direction. It is a big, big item. That's the only drawback I have for this. It has a large, large footprint. It is big. It is rather silly big. It's over a foot long in both directions. So, I mean, you need a lot of space to display this. But if you wanted something worth the value, go with the Wonder Woman Invisible Jet as opposed to the Boba Fett Slave one from New York Comic Con 2017. Definitely a pass in my opinion. Definitely a buy for Wonder Woman. And mind you guys, I'm not a big Wonder Woman fan, but I thought that would be much more valuable, have a lot more value and lower cost, especially if you're trying to break into Funko and not sure what you want to buy. Don't get caught up in all the hype like I did. Don't go in this direction. This is definitely a pass. A Funko review I'm very, very, very happy to bring to you, my viewers and subscribers. Woo! Because we're talking about heavy metal, the godfathers of heavy metal, back in 1975 from the band Iron Maiden, featuring their iconic mascot, Eddie. We have 4 pops here that just came out this week as far as recording of this video. Got them at GameStop. Put a down payment on $5 for each pop. But they have a special going right now where you can buy 3, get 1 for free. And I'm very, very happy that Funko has decided to finally get their hands on Maiden's license to do, I guess, the vinyl figures for, of course, Eddie, the mascot for Iron Maiden. This is listed as the Wave 1 set of Funko releases for the Iron Maiden pops. I don't know when the next release batch will be coming out because we have Peace of Mind, Iron Maiden Eddie from the original album, you have from the Killers album Eddie, and you have from Number of the Beast Eddie with the little demonic figure of the devil. So I'm going to do a full breakdown of all 4 of these pops. I'm going to look at the packaging as a whole. I'm going to look at the paint articulation and conclude the final thoughts for you, the viewer. Should you spend the money and pick up these great 4 Iron Maiden from the Pop Rocks line? Stay tuned guys, we're going to do a breakdown. Alright guys, we're in a breakdown segment looking at the Pop Rocks number 143, 144, 145, and 146, featuring our iconic mascot, Eddie. Now, very first thing we always do in a breakdown segment is look at the packaging and presentation. Since I have 4 pops to go through individually, I'm going to push them and go one by one. So I'll move everything out of the shot for right now, and then we're going to go one by one so it'll get better view of each one. First, let's take a look at the Iron Maiden pop itself. This is, of course, Eddie in their iconic Iron Maiden, basically their main album they came out with. Number 143, we have the Pop Rocks right here, number 143. A nice side shot of Eddie, nice window box display. You can see Eddie within right there. It does say Iron Maiden Eddie right here at the bottom. We over here a nice shot of what he would look like out of packaging. Over here we have Iron Maiden number 143. And the back of the packaging, if you're not really sure about Iron Maiden, you don't know what these guys were all about, this is what the back of the art looked like for the album. And that's where they got basic liberty to make the Eddie final figure that you see right here. Looks really, really cool. This is what he basically looked like when they made him in his very first album. This is the way Eddie looked. So let's go with 143. Let's go to the next one here, which would be 144, which would be Killers. This is the Killer Eddie. We have Pop Rocks here again. We have Iron Maiden right there. We have number 144. Over here, you have a nice, again, shot of what he would look like out of packaging. We have Killer Eddie's number 144 right there. And this is what the back of the packaging would have looked like, or the album cover would have looked like. We have Eddie right here and all 4 pops that are within that particular wave. Looks really, really cool. I'm very happy to get this one because this is how I remember basically listening to Iron Maiden for the first time in this particular album. Looks really, really cool. Next, we'll go to 145, which is Number of the Beast, a very iconic album for Iron Maiden. Again, Pop Rocks here, Iron Maiden, number 145. Again, a little side shot of Eddie right here. Eddie and the Devil. We have a little minifigure right there of the Devil, which we'll talk about in the breakdown segment. Right here, Number of the Beast, talking about the album. We have right here what the character would look like out of packaging. Number of the Beast on this side right here, number 145. And the back of the packaging, another shot of what it looked like for the Number of the Beast album when Iron Maiden brought this album out. Looks very, very cool. Really neat pop to get. And last but not least is the Peace of Mind number 146. Again, Pop Rocks right here, Iron Maiden 146, Eddie all tied in a straight jacket. You see right here, Peace of Mind. He's chained down. It does have Peace of Mind for Eddie listed right there. And there's a side shot of the pop right here, Pop Rocks number 146. Peace of Mind listed right here. And the back of the packaging, this padded cell right there. So let's bring them all back into the shot again. So we have 143, 146, 144, and 145. Let's kind of get them all lined up so you can see them all again presented presented for you so you can see them all in the shot. And they do look really, really good side by side, as you can see right here. Let's get all these guys out of packaging and continue the breakdown segment. All right, guys, we're going to start with the figures out of packaging one by one. Since it's a little easier to showcase these off to you instead of having all four in the same shot, we're going to go one by one so you can see what's kind of going on here. This, of course, is the Eddie mascot. This is basically from their, I think it's from their first album, but I could be wrong here. What makes these really, really cool, when you take these out of packaging, don't throw the box out. They have inserts, which is a kind of a cut or a scene from the album this figure comes from. In this case, it is their iconic just the Iron Maiden album. So you get this really cool backdrop for the figure. So if you wanted to put this next to the character, you can do that like I'm showcasing right here. Let's take this out the shot right now and just really focus on the Eddie figure itself with this really wicked hair. Looks really, really cool. Now, one thing you may notice, he does have shoes. All the other Iron Maiden pops in this wave are barefooted. So just take that in mind. I think these are like Converse shoes or just sneakers. So it looks really, really good. He has his hand open right there. He does have articulation. Head will spin 360 with no issues. Sort of this zombie-like appearance he has. Looks very, very cool. I love the way he looks. It looks even better with this backdrop in place. As you see right here, it looks really, really cool. Let's get him out of the shot right now and focus on the next Eddie one, which of course is from the Killers album. So we'll bring in this one here, which is a completely different look. Looks really, really big. And this is the kind of how this backdrop would look. You see it right there. Let's focus on that real quick here. So you can see this backdrop from the Killers album. But this is a different sort of Eddie. He has a much bigger set of hair. Really cool looking. He's in his jeans. This one, of course, was in his jean jackets as well. The original Eddie was in jean jackets and a normal t-shirt. So this one is in jeans, barefoot, as I mentioned right here. Hand extended out. Sort of has that really wicked smile and the sunken eyes. Big, big sculpt of hair. Now, this may have some issues with articulation. It does too, which is what I thought. He has a little hatchet in his hand over here. I couldn't really notice it, but he has a little bloody hatchet in his hand right here. So you're going to have some limited articulation with this figure. One thing I didn't mention with the first Eddie, he does have a figure stand, as you can see right here. Single point figure stand. I forgot to mention that. So there's no figure stand with this guy. He doesn't have an issue standing. He stands okay, but big head of hair. Be aware that he might take a little more space up. Looks really, really cool with the backdrop. This, of course, is the Eddie from the Killers album. So let's take this one back out now. Let's focus on the next Eddie, which of course is the Number of the Beast. Probably one of my favorite Eddies. This one is really, really cool. So here's the backdrop. First we'll take a look at the backdrop. Looks really, really cool. Looks really, really neat. Kind of a storm weather sort of backdrop. And this is just cardboard. If you're asking what it's made out of, it's just a piece of cardboard that's in the insert of the back of the pop. Back of the pop package. And this is what he would kind of look like next to the backdrop. Looks really, really cool. Let me pull back a little bit so you can see what it looks like. Looks really, really neat. He does have the devil. This is a little bit different. I really like this one. Out of all four pops, this one is my favorite, and here's the reason why. He does have a figure stand, and it's a big figure stand, mainly because he holds both the mini pop of the devil and himself with one figure point. Let's focus on the devil first. The devil figure here is this little mini devil. He does have articulation. This guy does have articulation. You can see right here, the head spins around. Single point foot peg right there on this foot right here. Looks really, really cool for the devil. So let's put him right here. So he does stand, but he's a little bit top heavy. You might need, yeah, he's gonna have issues standing. So you're gonna definitely need a figure stand. It's a much bigger figure stand than the first one we saw here. You can see the size difference right there. Much different in size. To basically hold both the figure and the devil. Let's take Eddie off right here and focus on Eddie himself. Nice laughing smile, hand up in the air right here, holding a little bit of fire, and it is translucent. I don't know if you can see it right here, guys. There is a translucent flame right there. Head has articulation, much like this Killer's Eddie here. Big head of hair, basically using the same sculpt, so you won't have that level of articulation if you're really expecting it, because it does get in the way of this arm over here. This one gets clipped by this side here, so there is issues with the articulation, but he looks really, really good. Let's get him back on the figure stand here so you can see kind of what he would look like with the little devil pegged in place as well. So give me one moment to get him in position. And that's how he would basically look. He looks really, really cool, even better with this backdrop. Of course, he does have his blue jeans as well. They all have like blue jeans from all these Eddies, so that is the common thing through their entire build of all these characters for all the album covers. They all have jeans and some type of shirt. That's what it looks like. I'm not familiar with every single Iron Maiden cover, but they're very, very similar, at least for these 4 pops. Very, very similar design and scope. But the buck is a little bit different between these 2 guys here, which are probably the closest in comparison. But I do like the Number of the Beast, so far the best out of all 4 of them. It looks really, really good. Next, let's take a look at, of course, we're going to look at Peace of Mind. Peace of Mind's backdrop is this one right here. This, I could tell you, is a piece of the album cover. I do know that 100%. This is, of course, Eddie all linked in his straight jacket. Looks really, really cool. It's kind of what it looked like right there when you put it next to the backdrop. Looks really, really cool. I do like how you can put these backdrops in place. You could probably do something with these backdrops if you wanted to like kind of rig it up, but it looks really, really cool. Let's get this out of the shot and focus on Eddie here. All chain. This is much different Eddie compared to Number of Beast Eddie. Different sculpt, different design. Doesn't require a figure stand. He does stand in place with no issue. He's sort of in chains. His head has been kind of cut open, and looks like a lock right here on his head where his brain, Peace of Mind is the idea. So it looks really, really cool. Much thinner compared to the other 2 Eddies. So it looks really good. Does stand with no issues. If you're going to ask me articulation, head will spin 360 with no hindrance. Not a bobblehead. Very happy about that. Looks really, really good. Coming right out of that Peace of Mind album for Eddie. Looks really good with that backdrop. So yeah. Let's wrap this portion up, but before I do that, I'm going to put a cut in here and put all 4 Eddies side by side so you can see what they look like with all their backdrops in place. Alright guys, I got all 4 of them with their backdrops side by side, so you can kind of see how they look like maybe on a shelf. It looks really, really good. I think you would display them something like this. If you want to have them out of packaging, maybe put the backdrops next to the packaging. So let's say you have this. Let's say we have the Killers here, which is this one. So maybe you want to do something along these lines, where you might want to put this here, and maybe, I don't know, this next to it. Whoops. Something along these lines, if you wanted to go that road as well. To have the back of the packaging next to it if you wanted to display it with the packaging. That's another option you can do. You got a lot of flexibility with these pops. I do highly recommend it. With that being said, let's go to final thoughts and wrap up this video. Alright guys, final thoughts on the Pop Rocks Iron Maiden Wave 1 featuring our iconic character Eddie. Now, if you guys are not Iron Maiden fans, you may not know, again, what he's all about. These are iconic albums that have come out with Iron Maiden's history, featuring both the album cover and the pose of Eddie during that time, which we talked about during the breakdown segment. I really like what they did with these particular 4 figures from Iron Maiden's history. Some of them do require figure stands, which you may or may not like. Some of these bodies are very lanky. That's why they put figure stands on Funko Pops. Wave 2 is not yet released or to be determined yet what albums they're going to be doing or how many they're going to be putting, how many pops in that second wave. I'll let you guys know as soon as I find out. I really highly recommend picking these pops up if you're a fan of Iron Maiden, if you're a fan of heavy metal, if you're a fan of rock and roll, or a fan of the Pop Rocks wave. Definitely pick these up at GameStop. Again, I'm not sponsored by GameStop. We just put a down payment on all these pops here, $5 each, and it was buy 3 get 1 for free. So I made basically a steal getting all 4 of these iconic pops for both the Iron Maiden characters for you see here. This video, guys, is another Funko review. That's right, I got my hands on the hard to get Yellow Lantern Batman, part of the New York Comic Con 2017 exclusive Fugitive toy set. Now these came in originally a 3-pack. It was these 2 here and a Steamboat Willie Dorbs. That's why you had to pre-order these guys way ahead of time of the convention. I ordered these, I think, the beginning of September-ish, and the convention came out, and I finally got these a couple weeks ago. So I'm really, really happy to finally get my hands on these particular guys. They're very, very hard to get, and they're well worth the money in my honest opinion. They've actually did a pretty good job on these particular Yellow Lantern ones here. These actually have gotten a lot of mileage out of these particular molds. There's been many variants with this newer design Batman, so I'm really, really happy of the pose and the style they did for this guy. Now you might be asking yourself, well, Rook, when the hell did Batman get a Yellow Lantern power ring? Well, he actually got it back in Green Lantern number 17, part of the Hal Jordan Wanted story arc. It was a pretty recent story arc that it came out. He only had the ring for about 3 pages or so, I think it was. I'll put a picture over here if you want to see what it looks like with that power ring on. It looks really, really cool with that Sinestro Yellow Lantern power ring. I was very, very surprised they gave Batman, of all people, a Yellow Lantern ring. So, I mean, I thought it it was a really, really cool idea doing Batman as a Yellow Lantern. Eventually, they'll probably put him out as a Green Lantern as well. He actually did wear a Green Lantern ring for a few pages as well. Very similar type of thing, like this Yellow Lantern situation that he was in. What we're going to do now is go into a breakdown segment. We're going to look at the packaging as a whole. We're going to look at the paint, the articulation, and conclude the video on final thoughts for you, the viewers. Should you pick up the New York Comic-Con 2017 exclusive Fugitive Toy Yellow Lantern Batman and glow-in-the-dark version? That's right, this guy here glows in the dark. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to go into a breakdown. All right, guys, we're in a breakdown segment looking at the New York Comic-Con 2017 Fugitive Toys exclusive Yellow Lantern Batman Pop 220, both the standard version and the glow-in-the-dark version. Now, there is no difference between the packaging for both these items. They are identical. Now, what you may notice is the glow-in-the-dark version, the paint may look a little different when we go into the further portion of the breakdown. It's a little different paint scheme between these two guys. So if we look at the packaging as a whole, they both have the same characteristics. You have the side shots of Batman on both packages. You have number 220, DC Superheroes, Pop Heroes line here. You see that on both items. Now, if you look down, you'll see the Fugitive Toys here and over here on both sides. It does a Yellow Lantern across both items. If we turn the Pop this way and this way, same identical shots on both items. If you turn them this way, it says Yellow Lantern Batman down both sides. And last but not least, if we turn them to the back view, it's identical as well. There's no difference in the packaging between the glow-in-the-dark version, which is this one, and the standard version one here. They're both identical. They both showcase all the items that were available in this particular wave, which is kind of funny because this particular wave, if you look at all the items here, that was kind of the special suits of Batman, but except for this one right here, all the other ones were part of a Target exclusive wave that came out. I've actually done a toy hunt and I reviewed those guys as well. So it's a very, very cool set of pops if you can find it. And we'll be back in a second, come back from a cut with these guys out of packaging. All right, guys, we have the Yellow Lantern Batman out of packaging, both the normal version and the glow-in-the-dark version. So let's actually look at the presentation first. If you look at these guys side by side, you'll notice there's no real difference between this figure, between each other. They look almost identical with one or two little exceptions. First thing is first, the paint on the glow-in-the-dark version, which is on my left and on your right, is a bit more yellow compared to this one. This is what causes the glow-in-the-dark functionality to work. They use a special type of, I guess, luminescent paint that allows the light to hold or glow. That's what I guess they use, but doesn't last a long amount of time. That's my only real big negative with it, is that the glow goes away really, really quick. If you hold it there for about 30 seconds to about a minute, you might get maybe 10, maybe 12, 15 seconds of glow, maybe if that much. But all in all, I think it looks good as far as the presentation here goes. Let's actually talk about the paint and articulation. We'll grab the normal version and talk about it. First thing, because they're both identical, the paint is kind of this off-colored black. It's not shiny black. It's not, it's more of a drab black, which is fine to me. It doesn't have fingerprints, so you can touch it without any real big worries of the vinyl. So I like how it looks. He has big, starking white eyes. If you go all the way down the figure, he has the black cape. As you can see, it kind of curls around, and he has yellow trim on his chest and the handguards and on the boots. Now, one thing about the Yellow Lantern Batman, they've actually used this mold in prior terms. They used it quite a few times. This is the third or fourth iteration of this particular mold that you will see. It's very similar to the second variation of the White Lantern Batman that came out as well. It's the same exact mold they're using here, so I think they're getting a lot of mileage with this particular mold. Last but not least is the articulation. The head does spin 360 degrees with no issues, and it is not a bobblehead. So I'm very, very happy about that. So I highly, highly recommend picking up the Yellow Lantern Batman part of the New York Comic-Con 2017 Fugitive Toys exclusive, both the normal version and the actual glow-in-the-dark version. The only big negative would be the glow-in-the-dark doesn't last long, and the price points for these guys are not cheap, which we'll talk about in final thoughts. Okay, guys, final thoughts on the New York Comic-Con 2017 Fugitive Toys exclusive Yellow Lantern Batman and glow-in-the-dark version. First thing first, it's definitely a buy in my honest opinion. I am a bit biased about these particular items because I'm a big Green Lantern fan, as I mentioned before in many of my other videos. And I'm really, really happy to get both these guys into my collection. And they've actually got a lot of use out of this particular mold. A lot of variants have come out, and I think the Yellow Lantern version works really, really well for these two guys here. Now, as I mentioned in the very beginning of the video, I picked these guys up on Fugitive Toys' website. This was a 3-pack originally with these two and the Steamboat Willie Dorbs. It was a total price of about $60 US. You know, if you look at it, each item was $20. I don't think the Steamboat Willie door should have been $20. But you know, it is what it is. I wanted these two guys very, very badly for my collection, and I'm super, super happy to get it. It's definitely a buy, in my honest opinion. Now, the only big negatives coming out of these particular pops that I personally see is, one, the glow-in-the-dark functionality doesn't really glow that long. It dies up pretty quickly. And the last thing is the price point. Again, it's pretty expensive. These guys are going for about, now if you buy them individually, let's say on Amazon or eBay, they're going for about $40 to maybe $50 US. But if you're willing to bypass the price point, these are definitely a pickup in my honest opinion. And I racked my brain for weeks trying to come up with the best way to review this product, and I could not do it. Every single time I started recording it, everything, the spin I tried to take on this product always shifted to a negative review, a negative connotation, and I didn't really want to do that for this product. I think it's a really good product on the surface, but lacks a lot of important pieces and characteristics on implementation, which we'll talk about momentarily. So I'm going to make this video as a don't buy this video. That's how I'm going to spin this one. I'm going to give you both the positive approaches and the negative approaches, or down rather, ups and downs, of what I think about this product. Of course, we're talking about the Funko Pop Albums Queen Greatest Hits basic 2-pack set. You have the album cover on this side here, and an imitation vinyl piece right here with all 4 members of the Queen band going around this side of this album cover. And I like Queen, what this whole thing is here. As you can see on this side of the table, I have all the pops for Queen. Love Queen. Me and my wife got together because of the Queen band. It's one of our things that we talked about when we first started dating, and I absolutely love Queen. Again, all cards on the table. Love the band Queen, love their music, love 80s in general, but I loved everything about Queen and what I thought this product was all about, because I think what happens here, just to be complete honest, guys, I think this is a smoke and mirrors tactic, a bait and switch, if you will. So what are we talking about? Again, we're talking about the Pop Albums Queen 2-pack set here, and what I think Funko is trying to do is to basically take something like this, which is a album. You can see Freddie Mercury, a nice little gold album. This is a signed or imitation signed picture of Freddie Mercury. Just want to have this as reference material so you get where I'm coming from. They wanted to take this and they wanted to take the pops here and merge them together to make this set. That's what they kind of did. And there was many of these that were created as single albums. Like if you took, for example, this side right here, just this piece here, they have another single album with one character. They've done this for many bands before. But recently, within the last couple months, they came out with these 2 album set pieces here. They did it for Queen, they did it for Kiss, they did it for AC/DC, they did it for Metallica, for NSYNC. Many different bands have come out. And the price point for this item was $50 US, and it was a Walmart exclusive item. And that's number one why I got upset about, because yes, this is a high-end piece at $50, but as far as recording of this video, when I received this product, which was about a week before Black Friday, all of the Funko albums series like this were deep discounted to about $39.95, and I got really mad about this, thinking I just got this damn thing. I could have waited an extra couple weeks and saved some money on this product. I'm not sure if it's deep discounted right now, but that kind of irked me the wrong way, all things considered. We'll also be taking some B-roll shots of all this stuff, some up-close imaging, so you can see exactly what's going on when I talk about this stuff, when I basically unbox it. I'm going to keep the wrapping still in the package, but I'll spin it around so you can understand where I'm coming from and the reasons why I'm upset. The other thing we have to take into consideration here is the sheer size of this item. If you're not familiar how big this thing really is, it's taking up almost my entire table that you see here. To give you measurements, full real-world measurements, this item, I have my tape measure here, is 23, close to 24 inches in length. And if we go this way here, it's about 12 inches as far as height. So you have an item here that is 2 feet this way by about a foot tall. And that's one of the biggest concerns I have now, is how do you display this piece? A lot of people may display it in the packaging that you see here because they think it's very much like a Funko Pop. That's what they basically did here, is they made this thing like a Funko Pop packaging, like these guys over here, just expanded it through this entire sheer size of this collectible. And it's a, again, good idea on the surface, but this thing is just so damn big, that became a problem. Also, I love the artwork. I love what they did with it. Again, as I mentioned before, I will be talking about, they have, good good side shots here. They have, just like a pop would be here, you have the Queen Greatest Hits here. And the back of the packaging, again, is very cool. You see the record album, all 4 characters on the back there. So let me spin this guy back around. But again, all things considered, looks really, really good. Again, from a visual perspective, dead on the money. Love the way it looks. Mine got a little bit beat up here. You see the packaging is dinged and damaged a little bit. The piece up top here, which is this cardboard piece, has been bent. That was in transit from Walmart to me, and I can understand it got dinged and damaged, and that's fine, because I think the end goal of this product is not to display it like this. It's a different configuration, which we'll talk about shortly. One of the other big pieces we have to talk about are the pops themselves. These guys and these guys over here. And that's where I think the biggest irk I have with this product is, because you're thinking you're getting something unique and different. And that's what you want. You want unique and different, yet they basically took the same characters from these and stuck it in this package. There's no difference between the sculpts and the paint on the individual carded figures like these pops here, compared to this product here. I don't know why they went in this direction, why they decided to take the original figures and just repack them. Just so you guys know, this is basically glorified repack. That's all it really is, and that's why I said it's kind of a bait and switch, smoke and mirrors tactic that Funko has done here with Walmart to give you the same identical characters, just displayed in a different sort of way, different packaging, if you will. And that, to me, is bad business. I don't know why they did that. Yes, Rook saw this product go up months ago. He could have easily saw the characters and didn't have to buy this product. I understand that, completely honest. Also, it may have been just a piece that could have been done as a hold, as a like image select of what they would have used, and maybe it was different from the concept to the implementation. The execution could be different as well. Sorry for the rambling, but I hope you got the idea, meaning the thumbnail from what Walmart showed could have been different, meaning maybe these really weren't the images they were going to use, and the final piece here could have been different. They didn't really say that in the information, but Walmart has been known to be a little deceivious when it comes to their business practices, all things considered. So far we have an item that costs $50 and exclusive to Walmart, which was deep discounted on Black Friday, which again, a bad check mark against the product here. We have the same characters that were repurposed that we came out originally about 3 years ago, which was just repacked into this item here with no change in the characters, no change in the outfits, no change of anything, with these guys here added to this product. Again, another ding against the product. We have something that's very, very big in size here, which is a concern. But the other issue we have to come at and we have to address is, and that's sort of the big elephant in the room, if you will, is how do you display this product? A lot of people may just put this on a shelf and display it like you see here, like a big pop packaging you see, that may want to display it this way. And that is completely honest. They can display this product this way. But again, you need a shelf that's pretty large to hold something like this. Again, we're talking about 2 feet this way, basically, and a foot in height. So it's not like a standard size pop like this. You're dealing with something of a much larger footprint like this. The last thing I want to talk about here, and this is kind of the key point to take away from this video, again, is where do you put this product? I'm going to basically take it out of the pop packaging here so you can see kind of what's going on under the hood, if you will. So let's take a look at this item, all things considered, what this thing's all about here. So we slide this out the packaging here, put that box aside, and what we have here is a little bit smaller. Let's see what the size is here. We're going to remeasure this guy here, and it took off about 1 inch of packaging from side to side. Up and down, you're looking at about, it cut off about maybe 1/4 inch. So you're not really saving a lot of real estate by taking it out of the packaging. We still have the all-important down here in the corner Walmart exclusive sticker. You can see it right here. Apologies for the glare, right there. And a lot of people, I think, will display it in this type of configuration with the wrapper off. That's how I think they'll display it, because, again, they took the pop idea and this record idea and amalgamate them and merge them together to create this product. And that's what they've done here. Again, on execution, and rather the idea on paper, but the execution is flawed. And here is the biggest flaw point that I can think of. Looking at this, I've taken this thing off of card before. I've looked at it. I haven't unwrapped it yet because I'm not 100% sure of a key element. And this is the key element that we have to take away from this video. As you can see here, it looks really good. When you spin it to the back of the packaging here, here's where things fall off the rails. You'll see these kind of points. This circle here, this circle here, this circle here, this circle here, and this circle here. That's used to keep this frame together collapsed in. You can see it from this angle right here. You can see these kind of points here which connect, which keeps the back of the case to the front of the case sandwiched together. That's what that is right here. So I'm coming from the perspective of the design right now. So looking at the design, the biggest problem I have, and I'll show it on B-roll so you get up close shot of it here, that you have a hole right here and a hole right here where my fingers are. So you have a hole where this finger is over here and this finger is over here. A very tiny small hole, which I'm making the assumption is how you would attach this to a wall. The problem is this hole here, I can't tell by the packaging. It looks like physically tear the packaging off, which I'm not doing yet because I haven't decided if I wanted to attach it to a wall or leave it on a shelf yet. I'm not sure. I'm torn of how I want to display this, but I'm thinking this piece here and this piece here, these two circles where my fingers are touching right now, run a good distance into this frame, into this case. I'm guessing. I can't tell by pushing how deep the hole goes. It looks like it goes a decent amount in. I think it goes all the way through by looking at it. It looks like it goes all the way through. The problem, the hole is very, very small. And you would have to have, let's say, a wall-mounted hook that would meet and hold this weight. This is not a light item in any stretch of the imaginations. Way heavier than standard pops themselves. And putting this on a cheap Walmart, like a little shelf or a Target shelf, would cause this thing to buckle. If you put it on nails, the nails have to be able to hold this amount of weight. I'm concerned about the weight distribution of how much weight this thing is versus the nails that you would attach this to. And I know you can get nails or hooks that would be well within the weight frame that would hold this amount of weight. I'm just concerned because, again, the hole is very, very tiny. What they should have done was made a slot, very similar to, let's say, this right here on the back of this. I didn't show it to you, but in the back here at the top, you have this little slot. That's a little wedge that goes across the top here on the back of this plaque, which is what I think they were trying, maybe going to do here. But again, if they could have easily made, let's say, a slot up here. Looking at the item, they could have put a slot here, right across the top here. They could have a slot looking at it here or here. They could have easily engineered a better way to hold this in place than these little circles we have here that basically run through the case. I don't think this will hold well. I think it's going to cause this thing to possibly detach from the wall, fall, and crack. And I don't want that happening to my item. So you can understand my concerns for this product. Again, I like the idea. I like everything about it. I think the project lead to put this together was very, very cool. Probably a Queen fan, and said, you know what, I want to do this two-piece album set. Again, the greatest hit on this side and that replica album on this side. I'm assuming this album here is just a stylized vinyl. It's basically just done in vinyl or PVC. Probably vinyl, I would assume, just to give the implementation and the look and illusion of an album itself with the pop standing around it, which again looks very cool. But I think because of how you would hold this on a shelf, I don't trust these little circles here. Even if you put a hook inside of it, that would hold the weight of this item. Another alternative to use, let's say, command strips. I've used those for other albums before. I've used it for small, lightweight pictures. It holds okay, but when you start dealing with a heavier item like something like this, I have seen command strips fail very, very volatile, and it would rip off the wall, rip your paint off your wall. It's a bad idea to use something like command strips for this, which is an idea you could do. I don't trust the weight on a command strip for this. So that's my concern with this. Again, we're looking at the price. You're looking at basically a repack. You're looking at how would you store this, how would you display it, and if you want to put it on a wall, how would you mount it to a wall, are the big key points to take away from this video. And all in all, in the end of the day, I don't think you should buy this item. I think you should buy the single carded figures. If you're a Queen fan, then you can. If you are intent, just a diehard fan, you want this product, get it for a good deal. Look for, if they go deep discount again from Walmart during the Christmas or holiday season, take advantage of sales for this product. Don't pay full MSRP pricing, because I guarantee you can get it less than that, because it went on sale for $39 plus shipping and tax. This thing out the door was, I think, $60 with shipping and tax all in for this product, and I could have gotten it for $39.95. So you're looking at about $10, $15 savings, which means it's not really worth $50 if you're deep discounting it by that much. It's a much cheaper price point you can find it for. But that's what I think of the Queen's greatest hits, the Funko Pop double album set.